Meet Karen, the queen of customer complaints, who marched into our humble bakery claiming that her donut from 2003 was stale. The bakery, mind you, wasn't even open until 2015. She demanded a fresh donut or a full refund, claiming false advertising over our Decades of Delight slogan. As I explained the slogan while fighting back laughter, she insisted our donuts should have a decade-long guarantee. Escalating to the manager didn't help. He choked on his coffee but composed himself to offer her a complimentary donut from today's batch. Karen declined, demanding the old recipe, whatever that was. In the end, she stormed out, promising a review that'd sweep us off the map, leaving us wondering if she was actually serious or auditioning for a hidden camera show. Picture this. It's Tuesday. I'm half asleep at the register when she storms in. Miss, I need to speak to your manager, brandishing a snow globe like it's a genie lamp. Apparently, her pet's allergic to fake snow, and it's all our fault. After a 10-minute slapstick rant involving her cat's sneezes and our return policy, she demands an instant refund. As I muster the courage to deny her, she gestures too wildly, and the globe explodes. Shards of glass and glitter turn the store into a winter wonderland. Cue her storming out, trailing a glittery mess. Oh, and she left her purse behind.
It was just another mundane Tuesday at Crystal's Candle Cove when she strutted in. Flamboyant sun hat, oversized sunglasses, the Karen package. She plunked a completely melted blob of was once a candle on the counter. I demand a refund, she declared, for false advertising. It did not glow like the package promised. I politely explained that once burned, candles by nature are meant to melt. But that's when the Karen raised the stakes, threatening to speak to the fireplace manager. Yes, the fireplace manager. My manager, amused but professional, offered her a fresh candle and a coupon, hoping to de-escalate. She accepted with a huff, but swore to tell everyone about our deceptive wax. As she left, we could hear her whispering to her phone, "Burning betrayal."
Working at Threads and Things, a quaint clothing boutique, I'd seen my share of odd customer requests, but Mrs. Jansen redefined the term picky. Known for her dramatic presence and louder-than-life voice, she was a regular in our store, usually leaving a whirlwind of chaos in her wake. Mrs. Jansen was a woman who thrived on flair. Rhinestones, feathers, and anything that screamed, "Notice me," lined her wardrobe. I was on shift that fateful Wednesday when she marched in, her eyes set on a floral blouse we'd just put on display. "Young man," she boomed, nailing me with her gaze from across the room. "I must have it, but it simply must be in a softer yellow." "Ma'am," I replied, summoning my best customer service voice, "we only have what's on display." Her eyes narrowed, and I knew I was in for a ride. "Surely you can custom dye it. At Threads and Things, you always find a way." Our first escalation came when she insisted the blouse be tailored by day's end. I tried explaining that we didn't offer dyeing or same-day alterations, but Mrs. Jansen was undeterred. "Do you know who I am?" she declared, waving a manicured hand. "I'll pay double, no triple." Our manager, already familiar with Mrs. Jansen's antics, intervened, offering a selection of similar blouses in various colors. Mrs. Jansen, in her infinite wisdom, decided this was an affront, and her demands morphed into an all-out tantrum. Convinced we were hiding the perfect yellow in the back, Mrs. Jansen marched behind the counter, nearly knocking over a stand of scarves. Despite my protests, she was convinced the inventory spreadsheet was wrong and began to personally inspect the stockroom. The climax hit when Mrs. Jansen slipped on a stray hanger, causing her to tumble into a clothing rack in a glorious cascade of sequin jackets and chambray shirts. Silence fell in the store as she sat amidst the chaos. To my surprise, Mrs. Jansen burst into laughter. The tension broke as she let the absurdity of the situation sink in. Resolution came in the form of a compromise. No custom-dyed blouse, but Mrs. Jansen accepted a yellow scarf that matched her dream shade, adding her unique flair. She left the store, dramatically as always, but smiling this time. Reflecting on the encounter, I realized Mrs. Jansen never truly intended chaos. In her flair-loving way, she merely sought the extraordinary. Have you ever dealt with a customer whose demands seemed impossible? How did you handle it? Laura had been working the graveyard shift at the local convenience store for 2 years. She preferred the quiet hours, even though they often got a bit spooky with the shadows dancing against the flickering fluorescent lights. Her colleague, Sam, liked to joke that the store was haunted by customers with impossible demands. Little did they know, his sarcasm would manifest into a chilling reality. The night started as usual until around 1 a.m., when the automatic chime rang out, signaling the entrance of a customer. The bitter wind followed her in, but it wasn't just the cold that made Laura shiver. The woman, later known as Karen in their whispered recountings, appeared almost spectral. Her hair was perfectly coiffed, her eyes sharp and unsettling, and she wore an expensive coat that seemed too luxurious for such a mundane setting. Karen approached the counter with an air of entitlement. "I need a refund," she stated, her voice cold. Laura politely asked what the issue was, and Karen pulled out a half-eaten sandwich, claiming it contained an ingredient she was allergic to. "I understand," Laura said, "but we can't refund partially consumed items." Karen's face twisted. Her demand escalated quickly. "Do you know who I am? I could have died. I expect compensation for the trauma," she hissed, accusing Laura of negligence. The store seemed to hold its breath, the shadows on the walls almost leaning in to listen. Laura calmly reiterated the policy, trying to placate her with a fresh sandwich. But Karen wouldn't relent. Her voice rose, echoing off the shelves, the sound almost unnatural in the silent night. Sam, having witnessed the escalating scene from the security room, decided it was time to intervene. He stepped out, his demeanor stoic, but his eyes betraying a hint of amusement at the absurdity. But Karen was relentless. She demanded the manager, the store owner, even the mayor if it came to it. Her voice now a manic symphony in the otherwise still night. And then, as if the store itself was fed up, the lights flickered violently before plunging the room into darkness. Silence reigned. Then, as swiftly as they went out, the lights returned. Karen was nowhere to be seen. The door hadn't opened, the chime stayed silent, and yet she had vanished. Laura and Sam exchanged bewildered glances, the terror of the unknown chilling their bones. Later, when reviewing the security footage, the feed showed Karen approaching the counter, her demands, the flickering lights, but then nothing. The footage skipped straight to the moment the room was lit again, her image erased, leaving only an unexplained emptiness. In the days that followed, Laura and Sam whispered about the impossible Karen. Was she real? A ghost? A manifestation of something darker within the walls of that bizarre store? Years later, Laura, having moved on from the night shifts, still shivered at the memory. Were they haunted by a figment of their own exhaustion and paranoia? Or, she mused with a chuckle tinged with unease, perhaps it's just that not all customers are from this world. Did Karen leave on her own, or was there something supernatural at play?